Hi guys, Chris and PJ here live in the Dream Giveaway Garage.
Happy Tuesday, sir.
Happy Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, midnight. Last chance to enter to win the GTO here. We had a whole lot of fun with you guys yesterday going over the build sheet. Thanks to the comments that we received when we talk about the tilt mirror, that is the mirror here, the day-night mirror. So
The day-night mirror.
correct.
That when you flip it up, it kind of like...
That's correct. So you don't get the glare of the headlights behind you glaring up on you. So Kathy was here this morning. It was so nice to see her. Hopefully she'll have some photos that you haven't seen before of great stuff here in the Dream Giveaway Garage. She said that some of the guys out there think this is a 1966.
66? Why would they think that?
Well,
Chris?
they didn't see the rear end. I mean, that's the easiest way to tell a 65 from a 66.
What do you mean?
They are so incredibly different if you look at the rear ends. So if we look at this area here, see how it all follows pretty much along the same level area? It doesn't go up, it doesn't go down. Fairly level all the way across.
Yeah, straight shot.
Correct. And the fins here go from all the way from that side to all the way to this side. So that's a 65. 66 has a radically different tail panel on it. In fact, I think that on my phone I have a photo of it
I
here.
think you were showing me, you literally like almost like an eyebrow, kind of shoots up and then
Yeah,
comes down.
here, I've got a photo here. Let me see if I can zoom in
And all
on
the
it.
grills now.
Here,
Right?
so here, take a look at that. See the big difference there? Where the grill actually goes up. And bonus points, any of you guys, if you remember the slang word that used to be used for what that tail panel was called on the 66 Pontiacs. Roger or Larry will probably know that. And then see how the slats are entirely different. You've got 3 here for the tail lights, and then you've just got the body panel, and then 3 on the other side. Here, you've got those slats going all the way from the driver's side to the passenger side. So it's entirely different. The other thing that you have to take a look at here, take a look at the trunk. Take a look at that deck lid and take a look at the line
This
there.
is what you're looking at, a 65.
No, that's a 66 here. So you see how it comes down, and then you've got that trim on the deck lid. You don't have the arrowhead there. But there's no trim. See how much farther down
Yeah.
the trunk comes on a 65 than on a 66? On a 66, it's very flat and then goes up. On here, it comes down at, well, not quite 90 degrees, and then it hits that tail panel there.
So if someone really was looking at these saying, oh, I think this is, would they see the back and say, yeah, it's a 65?
No. If someone saw the back, they would not misidentify this as a 66. No, I mean, not if they knew their cars. But from a front or from a quick glance, you could say, oh, cool 66. There's other differences between the years as well. I believe that this emblem moved, but that might not have been until 1967. But regardless, this is definitely a 1965 tri-power GTO convertible. Who's out there, PJ?
As Mattel says, oh, I miss Pontiac. Roger says, beautiful hips on that GTO.
Yeah, indeed.
Alan says, terrific Tuesday for a GTO giveaway.
Absolutely.
Tackleberry says, I almost had a 66 Tempest for my first car. I love this one.
Tempest, of course, would be able to get that 326, a smaller cube engine. 389 was reserved for the GTO only, and then of course you could get the 389 or the 421 in the full-size cars like the Catalina, the Bonneville, and the Star Chief. Information.
What, 2 days left, Chris?
2 days left to enter to win. Let's take another look at that engine compartment.
Did you say engine department or
No,
compartment?
compartment, not department.
Well, it's quite a department by itself.
Yeah, that's correct. So you can see those
Was this
single
common,
carbs.
the tri-powered?
Tri-power induction, that's correct. We can see here that it is not a vacuum actuated. By 1965, they had the mechanical actuation on it. They call it a progressive linkage on there. much more fun than the earlier style. And what's interesting is, yeah, this one even has its original tags on it. See right there? I don't see it on the second one, but I see it on the third one back. That has the date code of the carbs, which is kind of neat.
Dave wants to know, does it have AC? And I'm looking here and I don't
No,
see anything.
no.
It's like
Look right
kinda
there on the
empty.
firewall. You see anything coming out there?
Nothing.
Nope. So there's a heater core behind there, but no AC on this car. Yes, you could have gotten Tri-Power with AC.
Really?
Was a factory option, but you could not get a performance gear. So if you got AC, you could not get a 390 or a 410. You'd have to get maybe a 336, a 308, or even a highway gear. Which, a special order, you could get a Tri-Power GTO with a 273. Just go out on the highway and have some fun. But most guys like to get about a 355 gear in a GTO. What else do we see here?
Joe
We'll
says
see.
66 and 67 look more closely related. 65s are easy to identify, and Chris is right. They moved the emblem down on the rocker panel on the 67.
Yep, that's correct. Over here, we'll say, and thank you for that. We've got a power assist on the brake. Still got the teacup master cylinder there. They didn't move that until 1960, was it 8 or 7? I think 67 finally got the dual reservoir. Seatbelts, I said 1966 was the first year. Yesterday I was incorrect, someone corrected me, and thank you for that. 1968. Federal law, all American made cars had to have factory seatbelts in 1968, but the seatbelt laws didn't start getting on the books and enforced until sometime in the 1980s.
Tackleberry wants to know, is it points ignition?
Ooh. You know what? I doubt it. My guess is, and I don't have x-ray vision to look through that distributor cap, but I think that someone has dropped in an electronic ignition in there. I don't think it's still running points.
Ask Martel, it's straight 4H.
Straight 4H. I'm not sure what you're referencing there. Please clarify that and I'll answer that question.
Charles says, is it a key trunk?
Yes, it's not a key hood. We were talking about that yesterday. Let's open up that trunk and have some fun.
That's a big trunk.
Yeah.
Although I think we've had cars in the garage were bigger. I think that 57 Bel Air was really
Yeah,
big.
and I put the round one in here. Let's go, sorry. In case you guys don't know, and I know you've been around longer than me, that's for the ignition, the one that looks like the stop sign, right? The round one is for the trunk.
Look at that. There's a lot of room in here.
There's a
And
whole
there's
lot
that-
of room there.
There's that lamp that we were talking about.
There's that lamp, right? That would be the luggage lamp, I would speculate. And then if we look over here, you've got that that full-size spare. I wonder if that's the original one. I haven't taken a peek at it. If it is, then it's a bias ply spare. I don't even know if it's ever been on the ground.
And this is the cap cover.
You know what's interesting? So the correct color, and our friends at Ames Performance sent this to us. It's supposed to match the seat covers. See?
Oh, nice.
When we bought it, it had two of this color, the parchment color, to match the top color, which is incorrect. But the winner can have these extra boots in case they prefer to drive around with a white boot instead of the kind of metallic red boot.
Roger is referencing the H shift pattern.
Yeah. Hey, let's take a look at one other thing here we were talking about, right?
Wait a minute, before you go do that, I'll just take a quick look at the pattern here.
What are you showing?
He was talking about the H shift pattern.
Oh, yes, yes, of course. Of course there's an H-shift pattern. And we come over here. Look over here. It is a power antenna. You can see the motor there.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that yesterday.
Yep. So that must have been
antenna right
upgraded at some point because it did leave the factory with the regular AM push-button manual antenna.
Mike says, I want to do an old-fashioned clutch drop drag takeoff in that, compared to the 440/70 Charger I had.
We'll let you do it if you're the winner. And you wouldn't be the first one to do it if you're the winner, right, PJ?
That's right. Yeah, we've had some winners who get excited about their vehicles and
Indeed,
take
indeed.
off.
Great looking car. even if you think it's a 66 and now you know it's not, still a great looking car. 66 was the most popular year of the GTO. More units were sold in 1966 than any GTO generation, from first gen 64 to 72, 73s, 74s, and 04 to 06. 1966, they sold more. That's probably due to the GTO being in pop culture all over the place. You could find GTOs on My Three Sons. You can find them on what other TV show? Oh, The Monkees, right? The Monkey Mobile was in 1966.
Mike
GTO.
Brown says great weekend ice cream car. So yeah, there you
You
go.
got that right. In fact, I scream, you scream, we all scream for whoever's going to win this car. You like the way I did that, PJ?
That was good.
You got 2 days and 11 hours left to get your entries to win. Any other questions? We'll be doing GTO for the next 2 days. So if you have questions, be ready to ask them when we go live tomorrow.
Charles says, is that a key slot for the middle compartment?
It is.
Showing everything.
It is. So the console has that is a locking console.
Very nice.
So in addition to the locking glove box, underneath the grab handle there, correct, you have the locking console. And let's not forget the days in which there are multiple ashtrays throughout.
Yeah, I see that.
Wait, 1, 2, 3, I count 3.
Tri-power.
Tri-power ashtrays.
There you go.
Where else are you going to find that? We'll see you guys tomorrow. More great fun, more great action, more great grand prizes. It only happens right here in our favorite place on earth, the Dream Giveaway Garage.
See you.